Such a frustrating loss. This is sort of the loss that very hard to shake off. The PTSD will be real as they load into the next lobby. Can this Longzhu lineup be steadfast, get over the loss like SK Telecom did in the first game of their series, and find a way back into this series? Because if they tilt, if they have some struggles in the early game, I think ROX are just going to take them to the cleaners.
Yeah. Well, they seem to have confidence in them bouncing back because they have not changed the roster whatsoever. Neither team, really, as Cry is still going to be starting instead of Kuro.
Will Rise and Vladimir hit the ban list here? Of course, Cry didn't even have a particularly impressive performance on the Rise, but the Vladimir looked pretty good on the side of Coco, but you never really want to surrender the Rise to an enemy team. The next time it certainly could run you over.
Rumble will be banned out here, getting that respect ban for Smeb. So we'll see now what he wants to go for. It's still going to be that Twisted Fate ban away from Coco. Still interesting by the side of the Tigers. The first pick is actually going to be Rex side.
Happy to pass over the choice of Rise or the Vladimir, or potentially both in a crazy world. Karma, another pick that, you know, we talked about how Gorilla couldn't make picks, but the movements was so relevant when they were stopping the backs right at the last.
Well, right now, oh please no.
It's not going to be an Aurelion Soul first rotation, don't worry.
I mean, we saw, I have PTSD from that from their first game this split. Definitely wasn't good. Rise available, you have to go for it. I think the Karma fits really well. Extra mobility for him with that ultimate popped. This just makes all of the sense.
You don't get to have the flex pick nature of the Rise if you do go with it, but we're seeing a pivot.
Okay.
It's going to be Vladimir first, but Monte Cristo considered home happy. Swain's on the ban list, so no worries from that from ROX Tigers.
True, you can't get that double sustained mage combination.
Good.
But passing up the Rise for the Vlad, still a very interesting decision from the side of ROX Tigers. Have to be pretty confident in Cry's play on this champion.
Fun champions flashed there by Coco that hopefully we'll see in the future. Now you could just go for the Rise, or you could go for the lane counter that SKT skipped over in the game. And I say lane counter, it's obviously very good in team fights as well, being able to separate the Vlad either from his teammates or to his doom on your side.
They do go for the Anivia. Yeah, I think they're just going to lock this Rise for themselves. They can give that over to Expression or Coco.
And yes, Sivir, please.
Yep, okay. Sivir comes through, was passed up on in that first draft. So Fury will be picking that one up. So moving away from the Lucian, which he did not have success on in that last game.
They played great with Sivir, and also it's a takeaway pick, because if you give a team Vladimir, Sivir, Karma, expect Vlad, if he gets through the laning phase, to be all over your backline. So makes a lot of sense to take that down. Again, Fury looked very assertive and very smart on the Fury against Samsung. Sorry, on the Sivir against Samsung. Was it with champ names and champions today?
I mean, like I said, I wrote in Faker playing Faker on my sheet.
Well,
today,
I mean, if you think about how that game went, Faker did kind of play Faker.
He outplayed himself.
He did. Insanely, to the tune of dying to a Graves.
Yep.
So Elise and Ashe, so Prey sticking with the Ashe. We didn't even mention it, we didn't even catch it, but the Ashe arrow stopping Lucian in the fountain did delayed and allowed extra turret damage, potentially the next being exposed because of that delay.
Yeah, stopping him from getting back. That was a huge arrow to shoot all the way across the map towards that top lane. It was monstrous aim by Prey, but showing why he's known for that Ashe. Now we can see these last two picks from Longzhu looking for the support and the top laner. Playing around with the idea of this Fiora.
Yeah, the Sivir for wave clear. Of course, Rise, when his ult is available, has good wave clear as well. Expression played a pretty impressive Fiora in the spring season. They do lock it in. Okay, it's a blind Fiora. Certainly has a high element of risk.
So what do you take into this if you're Smeb? Trundle looking like it makes a whole lot of sense.
Be locked in. Smeb has been wonderful on this Trundle. Even in difficult matchups, got solo kills on the Trundle, but it's certainly a matchup that can snowball. So I think Peanut and Chaser will definitely be guesting around the mid lane, around the top lane. It's worth noting that Longzhu have teleport in the mid lane, ROX do not. So if it becomes skirmishes around the solo lanes, Longzhu just have more options than ROX Tigers.
Yeah, not to mention the home guard TP in, that massive amount of move speed there from the Rise. Could spell disaster for ROX Tigers, but Smeb with this Trundle, a lot of potential to get ahead early if Peanut can pay him a visit up to that top side.
Still, Prey will try the initiation, and there is a really good team fight comp on the side of ROX Tigers. The speed boost from Karma will answer a lot of Siv's movement speed. But again, the split push I think is the real story here. Expression and Smeb can both do their best 1-4, and whichever top laner snowballs, I think, puts his team in a really big strategic advantage, because he'll just have an extra option in the late game.
Yep. We'll see how Peanut's going to handle himself on this Elise this time around. Played Lee Sin in the last game and had some relative success. Nothing too flashy or crazy coming out of that performance, but consistent enough to help his team find the win.
It was a shot calling win in game 1. No true superstar apart from Smeb having a good game.
Yep. And Prey. Prey had a very good game, so there's that too, but we'll see how this goes again. Ash round 2 for Prey. Smeb on the Trundle. It's game 2 as ROX look for a shutout over Longzhu Gaming. And it's going to be a Cloud Drake.
Oh, goody.
Huzzah.
소환사의 협곡에 오신 것을 환영합니다.
You know, I have an important question, Papa.
I'm listening.
Why don't you look at me like Cloud Templar looks at Longzhu?
This is a fair question. It's because we don't interview together. It's
Many
clearly an
Holy.
interview buff.
I'm going to have to submit a formal request in.
Learn some Korean, then we can interview.
I can order Mekchu in Korean. That works. That's worth something, right?
I mean, you do enjoy the alcoholic beverages.
Just sit him down for an interview, like, hello, Cloud Mekchu, okay, and they'll just be like, what?
Hey,
Why
man.
are you asking me for beer?
미니언들이 생성되었습니다.
Gorilla fans in the audience mentioned he had a pretty heavy hand in the shot calling around that exciting finish in game 1. Still going for the Grasp with the Undying, but predictably Expression rocking the fervor of battle.
Well, it's going to be Gorilla roaming back down here through the jungle. Going to be looking for that drop start as Prey goes ahead and starts it up. Krug's being taken by the other side, so we will get the 2v2 between these bot lanes. And now the top lane's moving up to their sides as well, so we should have a pretty similar level 2 here for both of these 80 carries. And Prey's going to get there a little bit sooner.
ROX also have a big level 1 advantage just with the Mantra Q into volley combo. Some of the melee minions, at least one melee minion was out of experience range, but Fury does ping level 2 regardless.
Prey missed one that he could have had, so he could have had an extra little bit of CS there.
The experience is so much more important than one CS that early in the game. You're in range for that level 2. This opens up so many options. Surprising that Smeb really hasn't played a lot of the Trundle. It's always been a big pick for the ROX Tigers, but it was almost exclusively the bot lane support Trundle.
Yeah, Gorilla. He did play a lot of that, especially All-Star as well, two of his biggest support champions. Now, Karma's been moving her way up that list.
Karma's been such a big pick this season. The movement speed, the early laning phase. Mid lane also. Baker, the biggest proponent of it. Chaser's really sniffing around for a potential gank.
And he's just hovering around here. There's no wards in that Tribe Rush. They're really far forward. Looks like he might go ahead and start backing off.
There's a ward put down by Gorilla.
Peanut's nearby. Okay, there we go. Throw out the Hawk shot. They do spot him. So they will stay safe.
Jungle paths are very different when the lane swap isn't enacted, so it's nice to see an aggressive move from Chaser, but well spotted and scouted by ROX Tigers.
Yep. Meanwhile, this trading just continues up in that top side. You can see Smeb running pretty low on mana, especially sitting pretty comfortably in that regard as he shoves into this tower, but Smeb picking up any more CS, he will find himself in a lead.
Worth noting that there is now only one, but just popped a second corrupting charge and will be another one, so sustained advantage to Smeb.
And it finds Chaser, puts down a good amount of damage, will repel onto him, he's going for it.
Doesn't have kill pressure just
Yeah,
yet.
he's going to go ahead and tunnel out of there, but some good pressure being laid down by Peanut, looking much more aggressive and much more like the Peanut that we're used to, and now taking away that blue buff, so looking looking to triple buff him as he does have the smite available.
Rise is backing,
boy.
although.
Yeah, this is going to be TP coming in here from Expression, really aggressive. It's going to be matched by Coco. The Cocoon comes out.
That could have been better.
Yeah. Yes, it could have been. I don't have much to say about that one.
Now, it's worth noting that Coco wanted to get to mid lane and obviously doesn't have any difference when it comes to
Didn't put him
cooldown
too
timer.
far off.
Yeah, there's no more reduction in cost when you teleport to your mid lane turret, so that big a deal.
Yeah, it was more so the Expression one really delayed him getting up there, especially with the Cocoon, so it's a little bit later than he would have liked to have been. We can see Smeb has started getting that CS lead.
That hasn't shopped yet, so that will be largely answered shortly.
Well, he can get right back in there with his teleport, so shove up to the turret. Yell to back right off. Not miss a beat.
The ROX Tigers are running the Vlad this game.
Oh, Prey. Had to use the heal. Get a hell of a lot of damage, and the Ignite looking like it was used there by Pure before the heal had come off, because it was pretty low at the end of that one.
Gorilla didn't have the luxury of taking Ignite on Karma. You very much want the Ignite to just have even more of a strong laning phase.
Yeah, not to mention deny all that damage from the Rise, where your Vladimir cannot take the exhaust in the middle.
I mean, you're against Vlad, and, so you're against Rise and the Fiora, so
yeah,
you doubly need exhaust somewhere, so had to come from support role.
Well, it's alright. Prey's able to sit back and just farm up these minions, gets himself a little bit of a lead. Peanuts on the way down. There's no wards in the river. Chaser's hovering around the Krugs, taking those at the moment, so he would be able to respond to a gank.
No vision.
Tunnel's waiting there. He's going to see Chaser now. There's out the Cocoon, lays down the damage. Have to back off, though. Clears out this ward. Had Prey been level 6, could have seen a bigger engage with the arrow, but not going to happen for the time being.
Peanut actually out-leveled by...
Ooh, okay, Coco's pushing into the jungle. Peanut's actually going to go ahead and start up with Grom. Here he comes, pops the ultimate. Chaser, does he come over the wall? No. Doesn't opt into this one. Looks like Peanut's just going to go ahead and be able to smite away this Grom. After the reset, that is.
Impressive that Coco was able to actually push in Vlad, but that might have just been a back timing thing. By doing his best to freeze the wave under his turret, especially as he now saw the ult come down from Coco with the increased cooldown for the Rise. It's going to be a little while before he can try and push.
You say that, but it's already back up.
Hey, it's an extra spell rotation, baby steps.
Yeah, it's still pretty nuts.
Rise is still pretty damn good.
What? They can't balance him? What? I've never heard this before.
Well, they're talking about reworking him again, so...
Yep.
20th time the charm.
York.
Well, they haven't reworked him yet.
No, I know. I'm saying it's been 5 years, I think, since he's been out. He hasn't been touched.
I should have responded with the prototypical poo.
They will forget Yorick Mori.
He might even get a skin when they rework him.
Maybe.
The dream.
A whole skin?
Yep.
For me?
Yep.
That would just make his life.
He doesn't seem like the type to really be that upbeat about it.
I mean, it would be the best thing to ever happen to him in the last 5 years. Oh. Nice by Smep, delays the chomp. Will shove Expression out of lane. Doesn't have TP quite just yet, so he's gonna have to back off and likely run back to this lane unless he just wants to sit there and wait.
It's a big hole in terms of combat stats because Smeb did the later recall, had Ruby Crystal and the double longsword, so
yep.
Cannot win those trades if you're Expression. He doesn't want to teleport to top. Expression can be a little bit more liberal with his teleport. Coco has a teleport of his own, and at this stage of the game, you don't really want to be teleporting into battle as Fiora anyway.
Yeah, with a double longsword.
It's not the time. I mean, even the late game, you're probably better served split pushing than actually fighting. Samsung shows that. The 0.9 KDA 2-in-1 Fiora.
You can see that it's going to be the Tiamat coming back in here for Smeb. Looking like he might go for the Titanic this time around.
Guarantees on that one could just be Phage into Black Cleaver later on.
I suppose it's possible, but not... Do we see a lot of Trundle with Black Cleaver? I feel like we don't really.
It does come out a little bit. We saw it earlier this week.
Oh, I got taken away by Chaser. Nicely stolen with the smite.
You can apply it very fast because you can Q and then auto attack cancel, and in general get 3 stacks very quickly.
Plus a W.
Yep.
Yeah, does make sense.
It's an option. Phage is just so good. It makes you feel good. Whenever you have a champion that builds Phage and then you start the game without it, you're like, man, this feels really sluggish. Then you get the Phage and you're like, ah, that's right.
Now I can beat the crap out of them. Oh, well, you can see Smeb has the grand challenge thrown down onto him, but he's still coming out on top of these trades against Expression. So this is where the Fiora really starts suffering, and it's going to get exacerbated right now as Peanut and Cry roam up to this top side. Looks like they're going to take the time to kill that pink ward. Find Chaser here. So not going to go for the dive. The pretty foolhardy. That wave's going to come through TP as well. On the hunt gets popped. Frank Gorilla don't have much of anywhere to go. Coco be looking straight for the Ash. He throws the arrow into the face of Fury, but he gets out of that stun very quickly. And he's going to go down. That's going to be the first blood over to Coco. Now Chaser arrived on the bottom side. Smeb with not a whole lot of places to run to. Throws up the subjugate. Going to look to flash over the wall into the Dragon Pit. Is able to do so with the bubbles there.
Nice.
From here, nicely played. They get the pop up. And that's going to be the kill in the backswing of the boomerang. And Fury finding the second kill here for Longzhu, and that's going to be the Cloud Drake going over as well.
But there's actually something even bigger than that, Achilleos. Expression didn't have to leave lane. He teleport, he cancelled it, was able to finally get some CS now that Smeb is gone. Was in a big item hole, however. He's going to try and harass him down. Has Hemoplague available?
He's looking for it, throws it out. Here comes Peanut as well. Much damage comes through. He does repose the cocoon, but it doesn't matter. Flashes away. Cry chases, gets him with the Tides of Blood. Will come up with the kill, but that was a flash down for the Vladimir. Cloud Drake again did go over to Longzhu. Looks like Infernal will be the next one. 400 gold separating the teams, even with these that double kill coming through.
I think that was actually a pretty poor flash from Expression. I think the value of Expression's flash is actually higher than that of Cry's. He's in the more difficult long lane and is very gankable on this Fiora. We'll see the ROX try to answer the Dragon take with the Rift Herald.
I'd say that's actually a better trade there for ROX, given that it was a Cloud Drake. So at least get that buff for likely Smeb's lane here, so he will pick it up.
And now Smeb has a Rift Herald, and Expression doesn't have Flash. So even though Smeb doesn't have Flash himself, I think that's a pretty big issue for Expression that he'll continue to pretty clearly lose trades, given that he's at far more of a Titanic Hydra than Smeb is. So than Expression is.
Yeah. Which is, well, yeah, he's got the Ruby Crystal, so I guess we will see the Titanic coming up from him.
Again, outside chance of Phage. Fiora obviously does build Black Cleaver very clearly.
That is very true. So, very much could be the pick up here. Smeb walks forward, gets that chomp in. You can see he's already just ripping off the HP.
Rod of Ages had a pretty good timer for Coco. Should be coming through just around 22 minutes.
Yep, still has that tier going up as well. Chaser moving in to the jungle here. Cry is going to find him. He gets popped up into the air. Peanut coming around.
And it has Flash.
Yeah, Chaser is just going to be able to burrow out of here. So keep himself safe. Still had Flash available as well, so there's a very slim chance that he died.
Bit of a pivot on the build from Cry in the same matchup. We saw Cry playing the Ryze and Coco playing the Vladimir. Now we pivot, summoner spells the same, but just the Negatron Cloak into Proto Belt. So more aggressive choice means that with no exhaust, Ryze does have some pretty good options for chunking down the Vladimir in lane. But given that the sustain is based on missing health, and I don't think Vlad actually has kill pressure. Sorry, Ryze actually has kill pressure on Vlad. I think it's still going to be navigatable for Cry.
Still dealing with the ticking time bomb damage for that Ryze.
I mean, on both sides, right?
That is true. That is very true. I like how I like how both of these mid lanes just basically mirrored each other from last game. Now Cry has the Vladimir and Coco has the Ryze.
It's always fun when you see the dissenting in builds.
Oh
Here we go.
We're gonna try this one again. It's not gonna connect as Peanut starts sinking this one up. Goes up with a repel. Pose will block some damage. Does have the grand challenge onto Peanut, but
that was
only
really
able to get 2.
That was actually really good from Expression. He was
Yeah.
very smart on his use of the lunge, just getting away from the cocoon with that. Still had the W available, so got us away from a very sticky situation and gets to farm under turret. So
Yeah.
good stuff, Expression.
Buys more time for that flash to come available. Now Smeb staying pushed forward, trying to get some damage in onto Expression, taking up the turret shots. Chaser comes in, is unable to find the knock-up, so Smeb will stay safe for the time being.
It's all about allowing Expression to at least push back one wave to ensure he doesn't lose two waves to turret. He could teleport to top, but it seems like Chaser might just hold this top lane.
Yep. It will be the Black Cleaver as he does complete the page. So still could see the Ravenous Hydra come out. See where Smeb wants to go next, if he wants to go for something like an Iceborne Gauntlet once the Titanic's completed on this back. Looks like it might be, has that Cloth Armor in his inventory, so could go a multitude of different ways, but willing to put some money down on Iceborne.
Yeah, Glacial Shroud into situational. It's very standard for the Trundle. Could be Ninja Tabi as well, dealing with Fiora and Sivir.
Very true. But for the time being, just going to be a bit of a farm fest from either side. ROX have recuperated a little bit of that gold and put it into a lead, so it's about 250 in their favor at the moment. Good amount of that's going to be coming from Smeb, who has been dominating the CS up in that top side of the map with 136 to 99. Prey as well has been doing a pretty good job. Stuck underneath the tower for the majority of this game, but still coming up with a little bit of a lead against this Sivir.
Only big advantage that Longzhu have found is the Cloud Drake, which obviously is the lesser of the Drake buffs.
Yep.
Still getting the stacking going. I mean, an eventual reward if they do opt into another trade between Elder Drake and the Baron in the late game, like we saw in game 1. Coco will farm up.
Yep. They all will farm up. Except for Expression. He will get bit. And smacked. And he'll also get ganked. He's just trying to go all in onto Expression. Flashes in, but the flash is mirrored by the Fiora. Locked up underneath the tower, he's taking a hell of a lot of damage. And Smab, not sure if he's going to be able to equalize any kind of trade here. No flash available, nowhere for him to go. He's going to fall down, and Coco finds the kill. Fury and Pure rotate over to stop Cry from being able to shove into the tower.
A really nice move from Fury. He's been very smart at doing this, whether it's aggressively invading from bot lane or answering a mid lane push. They don't lose any resources to the turret. Cry's not able to push in and deny a wave. Good stuff from Fury. You can tell he's proactive because he makes that rotation without even using the ultimate, so he's just in the right spot at the right time.
Yeah, well, really well timed. And he's had Prey shoved up to the tower this entire time, so Prey couldn't even get the minion wave really to the turret in order to deny that wave. Fury arrived just in time to pick up the majority of it. So will keep it very close in the CS on that bottom side. Prey now finishing the Runan's Hurricane. Just has the BF sword as far as damage.
Despite the early game, I think ROX actually have the win in a dragon fight. 2 flashes were used for 1 on the side of ROX Tigers. Only Smeb used his flash, and in general, I think the power in the early game is higher for ROX. And Fiora obviously not the strongest team fighter in general.
I think it's really going to come down to Cry, and if you can hit this Hemo Plague on multiple members.
I mean, if you miss the Hemo Plague, you feel pretty bad.
Yeah.
It's not a Gnar ultimate.
I mean, if you can hit multiple members, that'll be really good for all of the ROX Tigers, especially for Prey, who has that Hurricane. He's going to be trying to hit as many people as possible. So, the Proto Belt, we'll see if it's going to enable him to get in range and really blow people up.
Especially still not completed an item, but has the constituent parts of his clear 2-item build. Nothing has changed with that with Fiora. This time it's ROX walking up.
Yep. Well, the bot lane, well, the support and jungle, rather, recalling here. Of course, Void Rush could be used, and it is by Chaser. Simple his way over to the red buff, but it's too late. ROX still find the kill onto the Dragon. Coco gonna get hit up by that arrow, but here comes Chaser knocking up several members of the Tidal Wave on the backside. Bubble not gonna connect. It's gonna be Coco going down already as Peanut picks up the kill. Here comes Expression on the backside. Cry, Gorilla, Prey, and Peanut all very low. They jump into Gorilla. The shield comes through from Karma, but the Ricochet is able to take him out on the backside. Expression falls, however, under this pressure that Cry is laying down with the Vladimir. And now Fury and Pure have to run, but Smab is still a very big troll. That's just walking up onto the Sivir, who has all of nowhere to go. Cry running over, trying to confirm the kill with the transfusion, just can't get range, so Smeb gonna go ahead and chomp him out. Prey going into the Peanut, dives underneath the tower, has the repel, gets out safely. And that's going to be an ace by the ROX Tigers on the backside of that Infernal Drake.
A delayed 5 for 1. So ROX, they still have the Ashe, they have the re-engage. They get onto Coco. He doesn't die instantly. You think, oh, they're lining up. This might be the answer. But even though Longzhu react first, it's the fact that Expression is completely useless in this fight and Smeb is a massive trundle. Just the reality of Fiora is that she can't contribute much. Doesn't get a kill, gets turned onto, explodes instantly, is neither tanky nor doing any realistic damage, and a 4 for 2 can only ever go one way for ROX Tigers, who now blow the game wide open with that play.
Yep. You want to fight in a team fight as Fiora, you want to have that old ultimate. That one is completely out the window.
They didn't need to do this, Longzhu. They got too greedy trying to fight for Inferno. They're like, oh, we got the first, it was a Cloud Inferno, that'd be a stack. But it wasn't appropriate. I mentioned it, the comp from ROX fights better early. Fiora doesn't want to fight in a 5v5 at the best of times. And they pay a very, very heavy price for over-pursuing at that Drake.
It looked like they might have had an advantage at the start of that, well, with a knock-up from Chaser, getting like 2 to 3 members there, but they were just a little bit too late, and everybody piled onto Coco and blew him up before he could really do any damage.
And that's the thing, is they lined up for a multi-man knockup, but it was only because they realized their positioning wasn't relevant with nobody else there to profit off.
Yeah. If you're Coco and you have that Archangels or the Seraph's Embrace, rather, maybe then it's okay because you can sustain so much more with the shield, but at this stage where he's just trying to finish the item now, it's not going to be good. Gorilla on the run, has that speed up, will dodge out the bubble. Expression coming around as well, throws out the grand challenge. He gets popped up in the air. He's going to go down. Arrow comes through from the bottom side, blocks up Chaser. Expression still has that Hemo Plague ticking, but it's not going to be a big enough pop to finish him off. He'll comes through as well from the ebb and flow. That's going to be a 2 for 0 pickup. Nicely invested teleport from the side of Longzhu.
That was the only teleport because Coco and Expression hadn't used it in the previous fight. They're not done. Obviously very, very difficult to turret dive a Vladimir.
Yep, so Cry's just going to go ahead and back off. That's Ghost available, but no flash. He doesn't want to play too far forward. Smeb's going to try to make the best of this and push onto the tier 1 to the top side. Get a little bit of that gold lead back, because right now they are dead even across all fronts.
Not convinced that the Fiora will be able to enter lane against this Trundle, Ninja Tabi, and the Glacial Shroud on top of the early Titanic Hydra. Still no completed item for Expression that's just been going for cost-effective small purchases. Hasn't been able to finish Ravenous Hydra or the Black Cleaver. And Smeb on a massive CS advantage with 30 CS and a bit of experience, the reward for his early game.
He's got a completed item. He's got Ninja Tabby too.
Yeah, completed boots.
There's no more augments for those boots. That's as high as that thing goes.
Rip Distortion.
Yep.
Oh, Chaser takes the blue. That's not awkward. That's very, very awkward.
Yep.
Rek'Sai, you often give away the first blue, let alone what is now the 4th or 5th.
Well, just tilting Coco. Chaser's match fixing. Confirmed here. Oh, Smeb really far forward. Here comes Chaser. Pops out the pillar to try to buy himself some time. Peanut's arriving as well. The Cocoon's not going to land, and Expression is really low, but the TP is coming through now from Coco. He's going to be a very fast rise. Zips over the wall, but he can't get in range in the end to get the kill. Pure with nowhere to go. Throws out the tidal wave in an act of desperation. Cry jumps forward, has the Proto Belt. Can he get the kill? Yes, he can. Arrow comes through for good measure, but it doesn't need to connect. Coco now getting jumped on by Smeb and Peanut. They pursue this one. Praise coming around the top side. No arrow, obviously, as it was just used. Cry goes in deep, throws out the Hemo Plague. Coco getting hit by the Cocoon. He's going to go down. Prey claiming the kill, and that's going to be a 2 for 0 picked up here for the side of ROX. It just goes back and forth with the kills.
And a real shade of the old Longzhu. They're fighting even though there's no way for Fury to be there. He was in the bot lane. He was going to get a turret instead. He watches as multiple members over pursue. They could have just kited back and gotten out, but they turned back in. That was the wrong call.
Well, Jason's going to go in. He's going to try to get the steal, but he's just too damn low. He gets burned out immediately. Peanut finds the kill and will find the smite on the Baron. And ROX Tigers finally taking a very firm grasp of this game. Will get the Baron, going to be able to back off and likely come back and get their second Infernal Drake, which is spawning in 38 seconds.
The difference between these two teams has often been seen in the shot coin. That's what opened up the win in game 1, and then they switched off the Baron at 2600, didn't DPS it down, killed Chaser, then took the objective. Again, the big story here is that Sivir can't get there. There is 5 members with Ashe in hot pursuit. coming to be involved, and Longzhu were always going to be outnumbered, and they lost the maximum. That's the thing you have to understand, is that they might have lost one irrespective, but because they re-engaged, because they were too far up, they lost the maximum, and they're probably going to lose this series as well.
Yep. It's looking very likely as time goes on through this match. Still not out of the woods yet, though, is ROX Tigers. There is potential for Longzhu to find a turnaround. But getting this second Infernal Drake certainly makes that even more difficult.
16% extra AP means a lot more health for Vladimir as well.
A lot of damage for that Ashe. We see Chaser throws out the Prey Seeker all too late. Not going to be able to go for that steal. It's going to be a Cloud Drake, so we're going to go Cloud, Infernal, Infernal, Cloud.
So I'm actually really hyped because I noticed that Peanut has Proto Belt on Elise, so that sounds like a pretty sick
Oh my god,
cocoon.
yes he does. That's really interesting adaptation here.
Well, Flash Cocoon's one thing, but Proto Belt Cocoon is on a very short cooldown.
Proto Belt Flash Cocoon, get
Yeah.
that extra range. Close it out.
700 range gap.
All right,
closer.
Peanut, we found him. This was the Peanut that I've been missing the last couple weeks here. Glad to see him back.
It's got some health on it. It's a tank item, right?
Yeah, it's a tank item, that's what it is. It's like, well, you know, you could get the Rylai's, or
He's getting
you
that
could get
too.
the Proto Belt.
Or both.
Or why not both?
Why not?
Hooray! Look at this, though. Smeb just stomping out Fury, finding that solo kill. Coco just not where he should be. He's going to go down. That's going to be the tier 2 in the mid side. Baron-empowered minions moving through. Expression split pushing, so
dear.
he's got that going on for him.
Tilt City.
Yep, Inhibitor is going to fall. 25.5 minutes, and ROX might just keep this one rolling. They have 15 seconds on Fury, 28 on Coco.
There's
They
no
are
wave
straight
clear
on to the
alive
next
for
turret.
Longzhu.
Yeah, look at this. Smeb just going to go ahead TP and try to end the game here at 26 minutes. One Nexus turret does go down. Do they stick around for more? Fury coming up now in 3 seconds. They get onto the turret, only can get a little bit of damage, though. Looks like they're going to have to back off, but still, such forcible play coming out here from ROX Tigers. Find themselves now with a 9,000 gold lead.
We didn't even see this.
Yep.
As Smeb
Well,
walked up to Fury.
I've seen everything I need to see.
Well, that's pretty cool. He killed him with the ult. He contaminated him to death. I've never seen that before.
It's a very dirty troll.
Have you ever seen someone kill someone with the ult?
Yes.
That's awesome.
I've done that a couple times. It's a lot of fun.
Contaminated.
Especially
to death.
when they flash away from you after they have the subjugate on, and you just watch it.
Oh, the
tick
second
down.
tick of the
Yeah,
ult.
and you're just like, yes, you fool. I have duped you.
I don't think Smeb's duped anyone this game. This is exactly the Smeb we have expected. Very much the similar Trundle performance that he had.
Well, he's duped the hell out of
Earlier in the
Longzhu.
I think Longzhu duped Longzhu.
That's true. They fakered their faker.
Who fakes the faker? Faker himself.
Oh, boy. Well, ROX looking very much back on form, or maybe Longzhu looking back to being a bit of a poorer team.
Princess and the Pumpkin.
Can't really tell which one it is.
It was nice being hopeful about ROX for 2 days. Sorry, about about Longzhu for 2 days.
Yep. And now it's back to the drawing board for these guys. Unless they turn something around like crazy, but I don't really expect that one to happen. It's going to be Peanut jumping forward with the Proto Belt, finds the Cocoon of the Fury. He will make it out alive, much to the efforts of Longzhu keeping him up, but have to invest a hell of a lot to sustain him. That's going to be the tier 2 going down. And that super creep wave is starting to build up in the mid side. ROX looking like they want to take this second inhibitor for themselves at the 28-minute mark. Prey just zoning everybody off with the volley. See, even onto Expression, he's just doing a hell of a lot of damage.
Might not be able to finish the inhibitor just now, though. We do see Longzhu put up another contest.
Well, Prey is going to walk forward. Expression goes in. He gets knocked up there by Rek'Sai, but it doesn't even matter. 3 kills very quickly being answered. A triple kill. Actually, no, it's just a double kill plus the inhibitor there for Prey. Screw it. We'll call it a triple kill anyway. That's going to be the ace, and that's going to be the game as ROX Tigers 2-0 over Longzhu, shutting down their surprising performance that we saw them have against Samsung.
But a bit of a predictable game, too, you'd have to say. I feel like Longzhu, when they win game 1 of a series, and Longzhu, where they lose game 1 of a series, are unfortunately very different beasts. And it looked like Longzhu returning to old mistakes, overcommitting when they could have less members on the side of the field, and ROX just being a bit more like the ROX Tigers we remember last season. So in a lot of ways, it was a bit of a spring matchup, at least in game 2.
Yep. Well, very nicely played by them. Longzhu just faltering a bit in that second game. And the first one, can't fault them too hard for it. ROX really did just outplay them by breaking down the front door, denying the backs. For the most part, they played that one pretty well, but